Phil, how are analysts, how are Tesla watchers thinking about sort of the chess pieces moving on the board, so to speak, with Elon Musk now being in charge of European sales on top of being CEO, Tom Zhu of China taking over global operations? I mean, this all at a time when Tesla really has to execute in the back half of the year.
I know a lot of people have said, and I've read a lot of the commentary today, and they've said, look, it's not good for a CEO and a founder to have to step back in and have more closely supervise operations, say, in a market like Europe that is competitive. I understand that philosophy, Melissa. Having said that, I also agree with those who have said, if you look back historically at Tesla, when Elon Musk's back is against the wall, when he needs to improve the performance of the company, he has generally been able to get Tesla to the point where it needs to be. Will that happen again? We'll see. Far different market now than the last time that he was more actively involved in day-to-day operations. But that is a track record worth noting.
Yep. Phil, thank you. Phil LeBeau. How do you think about Tesla these days, Dan?
Well, I think it is interesting the way the way it was laid out. I mean, some of the expectations for deliveries was getting down to like 350,000. So they came in right near where the analyst consensus was. So it does make sense that the stock rallied a little bit. They're going to report on July 23rd. I think what Phil says is really interesting, that the bright spot, or maybe a bright spot, was China growing 1% year over year. The only problem with that is they're competing with BYD, which is the #1 EV seller in China. And the ASPs for Tesla in China are like nearly double that of BYD. So it's pretty astounding. And some of the cars, they've been much, refreshed much sooner, that sort of thing. So China's going to be a tough one for them, in my opinion.
I would think that if the ASPs are that much higher than BYD, then they have more ability to cut price to compete.
Do they?
More.
I mean, they've been cutting price for 3 years in China, and so like literally, a lot of analysts are looking at this company. This is Tesla, and they're breaking down profitable sales versus unprofitable sales. They've been buying down rates for years. They've seen undercuts. You just said XPeng. You think they're competing on price with Tesla? Of course they are. So to me, I just think that they have been in a death spiral with pricing. So have a ball, try to kind of lower them to kind of get back.
It's like a drinking game. No, when Dan says have a ball, have a sip.
Have at it.
I mean, have a ball trying to play that game in China right now, because it just doesn't seem to be working.
Like
for
a drinking game.
I
like that. You played a lot of those.
You could drink
a lot of beer pong for you, Mel, in college? Sure.
For me, this is just further confirmation that the delivery numbers, the car sales, the price point, it just doesn't even matter. This is really a robotics, robotaxi, FSD type of story, and I think that story hasn't changed for me. Frankly, I can understand. We often talk about it, the sentiment around things being so bad that you marginally beat them and it's a positive. But at some point, this story seems to be too iterative around Tesla. And unless you can wrap your head around just buying into the future and really believing in Elon, I don't think the car company metrics even matter anymore.